Cracking the Leadership Code: 3 Secrets to Building Strong Leaders by Alain Hunkins. Draw on connection, communication, and collaboration to establish your position as a leader. In 1999, Alain Hunkins sought to become the executive director of a nonprofit leadership development group in New York City. He had worked hard for the group and had no doubt that the organization's members would elect him as the executive director at their annual meeting. Instead, 85% of the members voted for a successful businessman named Gary who had little knowledge of or experience with the organization. Gary later explained to Hunkins why he won. He'd gotten to know the people at the organization by taking them out to lunch or coffee, probing their views on the nonprofit's work and asking them what direction they thought it should take. He had explained to them why he wanted to become executive director. Gary asked them to let him join their team, so he could boost the organization's prospects and to vote for him as executive director, so they could together work for its future. Hunkins, on the other hand, had assumed that the board members would know about him and his hard work. He thought they would vote for him based on merit. But he never asked them to vote for him, and they didn't. Gary had drawn on the 3 critical components of leadership: connection, communication, and collaboration. People feel that you care about them if you connect with them personally. Your connection with others gives them a reason to heed your claim to be a leader. Trust is the main driver for establishing connection. By inviting board members out with him individually, Gary sent a clear message that he held them in esteem. Leaders must invest time and energy in building trust and making connections. In return, they build relationships and earn commitment and engagement. Leaders who practice empathy perform better than their peers who don't. Development Dimensions International, a leadership development consultancy, surveyed 15,000 leaders across 300 companies in 18 countries. They discovered that leaders who listen well and practice empathy outperform other leaders by 40% in terms of engagement, planning, organizing, decision-making, and coaching. Empathy is programmed into us. As humans, we're hardwired to emotionally attune with those around us. Our brains have cells called mirror neurons, which are designed to reflect the actions and emotions of others. To enhance empathy, delve beneath people's words to discern the message they intend to communicate. Cognitive empathy enables you to appreciate other people's points of view and to consider how they came to adopt their perspectives. Effective empathy requires you to take notice of another person's state of mind and make an appropriate, aligned response. Empathy is fundamental to group cooperation. It enabled humanity's ancient ancestors to overcome their biological shortcomings and triumph over the wild animals around them. Today, it falls to leaders to bring everyone into the fold and increase the size of the tribe. Most people extend empathy exclusively to those closest to them, but when you offer empathy to those you lead, your reward is trust, insights, and innovation. Low-trust organizations sap the energy of everyone in their fold. Organizations characterized by low trust drain the enthusiasm of anyone in their orbit. Employees who don't trust their organization will build defensive walls around themselves. When leaders empathize, they enable employees to drop their guard and work together to fulfill organizational goals. Low-trust organizations have high turnover rates. Research reveals that shareholders of high-trust organizations earn almost 286% higher returns than shareholders of other enterprises. Empathic leaders pick up on subtle cues that tip the balance of insight in their favor. Leaders who lack empathy tend to rush to their own conclusions without examining the premise or seeking other perceptions, even when those viewpoints are easily available to them. Your colleagues and staff will approach problems from a multitude of perspectives due to their varied backgrounds and experience. If you are empathetic, you can gain insights from them that will give you a more holistic understanding of a problem. For example, an executive named Glenn believed in acting hard-nosed. He valued only those staff members who achieved their targets. Then his wife developed breast cancer, and the people around him rallied to help. His neighbors and colleagues made arrangements for meals and helped him take care of his children. This changed Glenn's belief in other human beings. He recognized that the people he worked with also had families and problems of their own. He began asking them about their experiences outside work and, as a result, he developed into a more empathic leader. Leaders confront 6 obstacles to practicing empathy. Many business leaders tend to reject new ideas even though cultivating a constant stream of new ideas is the way to foster innovation. When leaders reject new ideas, employees stop making suggestions. Empathic leaders know that new ideas, even if only partially complete, require support. Such leaders create an environment where people feel comfortable sharing their thoughts. 6 obstacles impede leaders from practicing empathy. 1. Lack of practice. To strengthen your empathy, practice using it. 1. Most businesses don't give empathy any credence because they find it hard to quantify with metrics like revenue or profitability. 2. Tony Schwartz and Christine Porrath, who conducted research on the role of empathy within organizations, found that employees who have supportive supervisors feel more involved and are unwilling to leave their jobs. 3. Conversely, employees who don't feel supported show a greater tendency to quit. 4. Right-wrong mindset. Inflexible thinking can impede empathic responses. 5. The traditional educational process trains you to seek just one right answer. 6. But working in an organization, you need feedback from various colleagues before deciding on a course of action. 7. If you have a persistent need to feel that you're always right, you might only pretend to listen to team members. 8. You might value others only if they advocate ideas similar to yours, but that attitude prevents you from establishing empathic connections with co-workers. 9. Fear mentality. Fearing that others could see them as weak, many senior executives avoid facing their emotions. 9. But treating employees without empathy gives them reasons to feel fearful, which diminishes trust. 10. Employees feel less worried when they have emotional links with their colleagues and supervisors. 11. Impatience. Establishing and building empathy requires time. 12. Leaders who pride themselves on their ability to take action often feel too rushed to engage in empathic behavior. 13. Unfortunately, this makes those around them feel diminished and undervalued, which results in a decline in enthusiasm and quality of work. 14. Leaders can establish empathic relationships while maintaining the capacity to act efficiently. 15. The hot-cold empathy gap. This problem stems from a cognitive bias that prevents people from recognizing how their experience and emotional state influence how they construct their reality. 16. When people function in a hot state, they can feel angry, scared, or hungry. 17. When people function in a cold state, they can feel placid, bored, or worried. 18. Most people don't recognize how their current emotions affect how they think. 19. Leaders afflicted by this hot-cold empathy gap find it difficult to appreciate employee concerns. 20. Power. Decker Keltner, a psychology professor at the University of California, Berkeley, studied the impact that power has on people. 21. After 20 years of research, he came to the conclusion that people swayed by having power seem to function almost as if they've suffered a traumatic brain injury. 22. Power makes them less able to appreciate other people's perspectives. 23. On the other hand, some leaders who have power can maintain their ability for empathy if they can avoid engaging in practices that diminish their concern for others. Engaging in certain practices can build your capacity for empathy. Increase your ability to be empathetic by taking deliberate action, including 1. Listen with purpose. Many leaders don't listen to other people's thoughts or concerns due to the effort it takes to pay close attention. 1. But they miss out by ignoring others. 1. Unless they can learn to listen, they might not see the world as those around them do. 1. To build a potent connection with other people, actively listen to develop a deeper understanding of their perspectives. 2. Practice being open. To increase your openness to others, first practice being open with yourself. 2. Examine and challenge your habitual behaviors. Notice whether you try to dominate conversations and push your viewpoint. 3. Cultivate curiosity. Empathic leaders need to cultivate a spirit of inquisitiveness. 3. Encountering new experiences, people, or locations can increase your depth of character. 3. Take the opportunity to engage with strangers. Leaders must invest time in building their understanding of other people. 4. Spend time in another person's shoes. You might think you understand and appreciate other people's lives, but for more insight, try to see things from their perspective. Employee success depends on their relationship with their supervisors. In 1974, Gallup undertook an ambitious research project. Over the course of 20 years, it sought feedback from 1 million employees in more than 100 companies to identify the factors that marked the world's most successful employees. It found that, whether someone is a frontline manager or a senior executive, employees' success ultimately depended on their relationships with their immediate supervisors. Leadership researchers Jim Kozes and Barry Posner conducted a 30-year study to identify the characteristics that employees seek in their leaders. They found that most people wanted their leaders to be honest. To draw others to follow them, leaders must establish their credibility. Leaders face a variety of communication challenges that they can overcome by being aware, including 1. Lack of alignment. Leaders must overcome projection bias, the assumption that other people understand what the leader meant to say. 1. Clarify your message. 1. Effective communication occurs when leaders create mutual understanding. 2. Lack of shared context. How you frame information can create an obstacle to how well you get your meaning across. 3. The commonly accepted notion is that communication is the transmission of information. In fact, communication includes making sure people receive and understand your information as you intend. 4. The people with whom you communicate want to know when and where something is happening and, more importantly, why. 5. Provide context so they can fully grasp your meaning. 5. Seek feedback so you can be sure your audience understands you. 6. If your listeners didn't get the gist of what you meant, circle back and try again. 7. Overload. Most people have too much information coming at them. 7. They want their leaders to help them gain an incisive understanding of the importance of the information under discussion. Keep your listeners' challenges in mind. To earn trust, base your communication on what they need. Don't address your needs at the expense of theirs. In the past, traditional managers tried to impose their will on employees. Now leaders recognize that they can motivate only themselves, and they must create an environment where employees can, in turn, motivate themselves. People love being given a clear central message. The clarity provides comfort. Confusion is anxiety-producing, both mentally and physiologically. When you know what the point is, you can relax. Collaboration has many facets, but you can maneuver through them more easily if you emphasize simplicity. Leaders who keep things simple set an example of how to function as the head of a team. Takeaways. 1. Draw on connection, communication, and collaboration to establish your position as a leader. 2. Leaders who practice empathy perform better than their peers who don't. 3. Low-trust organizations sap the energy of everyone in their fold. 4. Leaders confront 6 obstacles to practicing empathy. 5. Engaging in certain practices can build your capacity for empathy. 6. Employee success depends on their relationship with their supervisors. Please like, share, and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.